Well, anyways, finally, it's here. I am making my SpongeBob Season 1 tier list. I have promised that I was going to do this for like 2 years ago. So the way this is gonna work is I'm just gonna go straight down like every single episode that's listed here. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just gonna like the order that they're shooting it at me. I'm gonna go like that, and I'm just gonna organize them. I'm gonna try to order it to the best of my ability. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna this is how I'm gonna do it. Um, Realistically, I probably won't be using the bad tier very often. Um, because I think SpongeBob season one is the most consistent season in the show. It's not my favorite season. It's probably like my either my third or fourth favorite. It's like around season four level in my opinion, more consistent than season four, but less high highs than season four maybe. It's probably better than season four. It's probably my third favorite, but it is I think the only season without like an episode that I'm like I hate this episode, which even
What
two
the
and three,
dog doing?
even two and three have some of those. So yeah, let me get started. Help wanted. Okay, so this is the pilot. Um, what else is there to say? It's the pilot. It has some funny moments. It's got the anchovies. It's got Squidward wiping off his face with like the loser on the Krusty Krab window. It, it's like got it's the first SpongeBob episode ever. Um, some people put it in their top 10 episodes. I think that's a little nostalgia bias because it's just like it's what started it all. But I'll at least put it in fantastic. I think it's a great episode. It's a great way to start the show. It's really short, obviously, it's just a pilot, but it's great. The music at the end, like the musical number at the end, is great. It really represents, honestly, all that SpongeBob is about to become when it gets Greenland. So, um, shut up, Moobot. But yeah, so as help wanted. Okay, Argh. Argh is one of my favorite episodes in this season. It is hilarious. I don't got too much to say on it. Yeah, hey, welcome. I know it's probably unbelievable. You're probably so happy that it's finally happening, but yeah, so we got Arg. Um, I don't know, it's just so good. It starts with Mr. Krabs just
What the
like
dog doing?
it starts with Mr. Krabs start just completely like going psychotic over this board game to the point that he takes SpongeBob and Patrick on a real treasure hunt around the board game. Um, got some great moments. It's got Patrick being like, "I thought you said Weast," and it's got the two gold doubloons. Um, it's just a fun episode. I think it's at least in the fantastic tier. I wouldn't say it's in the very best. I'm gonna reserve the best tier for like literally like maybe the three or so best episodes in the season. So Arg is a top tier episode. Um, don't do it on my stream, please. Okay, so boating school. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have never really liked the boating school episodes. I think I don't think they're bad. I think comparatively, why the heck is okay and good switched? There we go. I think comparatively, the boating school episodes are weaker than pretty much any other like type of Sponge episode. I think the episodes with Mrs. Puff and are about boating school are
What the dog doing?
almost always a step lower than like pretty much any other um like type of SpongeBob episode, type of setting and type of plot. Um, I still think it's okay. This one has good moments. Every, to be honest, like okay for SpongeBob season one, that's still a good that's like this is a great season. I love this season. Like that episode's like that. Patrick's like act natural and SpongeBob gets on all fours and starts eating grass. Like It's hilarious. Everything is funny. The show is so funny. But comparatively, in terms of this season, it is just an okay episode, and that is it.
What the dog doing?
What the dog doing? Fools in April. Okay, I like to watch this episode every year for April Fools because it's fun. Um, I think it gets some criticism from some people because Squidward is over the top mean in this episode. But I think that's like the point. And then he gets trolled so hard at the end. It feels great. Um, and honestly, I think the animation they have him doing when he's laughing at SpongeBob when he's being overly mean is really funny. Like you got that like it's a meme format of Squidward, like the veins popping and like his tongue sticking out laughing. Um, I think it's a good episode for what it tries to do. It's fun. It's you don't have many shows to get you like most shows have like holiday specials and stuff, but I don't know any other shows that has like an April Fool's special. Special quote unquote, but like I like it. I think it's funny. I think it was funny that like a lot of the gags that SpongeBob pulled. You got the famous lemonade scene. I think this episode is at least good. All right, Hooky. Was that really season one? I thought for a fact. Nice. I thought for a fact that Hooky was season like two minimum, if not season three. That's crazy to me. That's insane. Uh oh, I can post in here. Twitch.tv/GooberPT. SpongeBob tier list. Lol. Yeah. Yeah, but I didn't know that Hooky was in this season. I think I didn't really like it that much as
What
a
the
kid.
dog doing?
Like as a kid, it kind of annoyed me. And as an adult, it's okay. It's got good moments. Patrick turns into a can of tuna or whatever. SpongeBob becomes naked in front of girls, and then holds like his hands in front of his privates as if he's just not just like a sponge. He's got nothing there. I don't know what he's doing. But I'm trying to think where I'd put it. Like I guess it's good because I think I'm the only reason I'm like downplaying is because I know some people like have a lot of nostalgia for that episode. Um, I'll put it. I'll either put it in good or okay. It'll probably be the bottom of good, if not the top of okay. I'll put it there for now. I was a teenage Gary. Yep, this is the one. The entire reason I made the bad tier on this episode on this tier list is because I think this is the maybe the only episode in season one that I'd consider bad.
What the
Um,
dog doing?
I think it's not as bad as like the bad episodes in the other seasons. Like, but it's kind of first like the first is like it's first of all there's like no direction. There's no central direction this episode goes. Like there's a first half and a second half that I forget are the same episode because they are incredibly different. Um, like the first half is SpongeBob and Patrick go to the jellyfish convention or whatever they're doing. They have Squidward take care of Gary. Squidward doesn't do it, and then Gary's like practically literally dying, and Squidward's like, "Oh crap, Gary's gonna freaking die," and SpongeBob's coming home. Uh, and and like so that's the first half, and then they get like the hospital, like the doctors come over,
What
have
the dog doing?
snail plasma to inject into Gary. Apparently, all Gary needed was water, and he's fine. Oh yeah. But anyways, then they like Squidward accidentally injects SpongeBob with snail plasma, and SpongeBob like turns into a snail. And this is like so like the first half of the episode is annoying because Squidward is like messed up so big time and like almost killed Gary. Like I don't think that's really funny. That's just kind of like annoying. That's like kind of messed up to me. Um, and then the second half, it goes from being like annoying to like weird. It's just the weirdest episode because SpongeBob turns into a snail. He goes through the entire meta like morphosis, and then like he like for some reason decides to like go to Squidward's house and attack him or whatever, and then Squidward becomes a snail. And then like the end of the episode, they're all just on like a fence singing a song, and then Patrick throws a shoe at Squidward. Like, what is going on? I think it's such a weird episode. Like, I don't think it's good. I think it's kind of bad. It's like the the two halves don't mesh together well at all, and on their own, the two halves aren't good.
What the dog doing?
I don't think anything in it is necessarily like horrendous. Like I don't watch it and I'm like not appalled watching it, which as much as I love SpongeBob, even the good seasons of SpongeBob will have episodes that I watch and I'm like, I hate what I just saw. But this one is just like I don't like it because there's no real direction. And I think this is probably gonna be the only episode in that tier. Anyways, next we got the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy ones. There are two Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boys in the first season. Um, for some reason it's having me rank the second one first, and I will say the second one is leagues worse than the first one. The second Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy is, in my opinion, the worst Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode, at least of like the classic five, I think, or I guess there was a sixth in the fourth season, but it was kind of different. Um, but of like the classic five, like from the first three seasons, this is easily the worst. This is the one where SpongeBob wins a conch that he can call Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy in. Um, and honestly, I remember very little about this episode because this is probably one of the episodes I watched the least as a kid because I didn't really like it. And I've seen it again. Like I said, like halfway through my like high school, I rewatched everything, and I was just like, like let me think what happens. You got SpongeBob wins it. He calls him out over and over and over again. They get annoyed. They take it from him. What's like the actual like climax? Isn't there like there's like a super villain or something who comes and then he blows. Is this the one? Is that the one where he like ends up like after they take it from him and he's really sad? Like they let him go with them for a day to be superheroes, right? Um, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2 plot. Yeah, okay. This is the one where they do that, and they go to the diner. They go to
What the dog doing?
the jukebox. They go out, like they try to sneak out, get attacked by the dirty bubble. Um, yeah, there's not much that really happens. I think it's okay. Uh, it's okay. Um, I don't even really remember that many good jokes from it. The only thing I really remember from it, in terms of like lasting impression, is the stupid meme that like came from it with Barnacle Boy with the laser eyes trying to destroy the conch. I'm pretty sure that was where the Yankee with no brim meme originated. Um, um, other than that, uh, I think it's kind of eh. However, the first Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, this one's better. I don't think it's the best Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy by far, um, but it's good. It's a good episode. I like. like it's funny the first time you see the contrast that they're actually like senior citizens. It's pretty funny,
What the dog doing?
versus what they expected it to be. And then SpongeBob's just like it doesn't even he doesn't get like he's not even upset about it. He's just like senior citizens like they're like the people, the most important people. Or I don't know, he made like an entire speech about it to Patrick when Patrick was like, "It's too bad they're old." I don't remember what the speech was, but it was funny. Like, SpongeBob, he just likes his heroes. Um, they try to get their attention. They pretend to be supervillains and stuff like that. To me, it doesn't seem like it's not like it's a pretty standard episode. Like, there's nothing that really stands out that much other than that it introduces Mermaid and Barnacle Boy. But there's nothing that like I don't like about it. It's just maybe it's a little boring, maybe, but that's only because of how standard it is. Um, so I'll put it behind Hooky because I do think Hooky might be a little better. I remember a couple more things from Hooky, even if I don't like some things about it either. Okay. Um, Musclebob buff pants. I love this episode. This episode makes me happy. Okay, so this is the one where pretty much near
What
the
the
beginning.
dog doing?
Shut up. Pretty much near the beginning. SpongeBob sees an ad on TV and it's like, do you want to be a jerk? And it's like the arms, like you blow them up and there's an option for Harry. And yeah, he gets them and he's like, yeah, my secret is doing armpit farts. And then everyone starts doing it, but he can't lift up the water glass. He can't do it. And then Sandy signs him up for like an anchor tossing competition, and he like literally blows up. And then there's the guy who judges the anchor toss, like keeps getting hit by the anchors when they're throwing it because like it was like homed in on him. I love that. I love that. It's a good episode. Like I don't think it's one of my favorite in the season, but it is something I like to go back to. It makes me laugh. As a kid, I didn't like it that much. This is because one common thing you'll notice about like when I say as a kid I didn't like this episode is that pretty much any episode where something doesn't go right for SpongeBob, I did not like. SpongeBob was and might still be my favorite character in the show. And as a kid, like I was just like if anything like if something did not go SpongeBob's way, I was upset. Um, and that does happen in this one. Like he gets kind of like obliterated, he gets exposed. But like when I grew up and realized that that's just kind of a stupid like reason to not like episodes, I really like this one. I think it's pretty good. Um, all right, so nature pants. Nah. Um, there's a pretty good fourth wall break in this episode.
What the dog doing?
There is like SpongeBob just goes naked and becomes part of nature. He wants to live with the jellyfish. Um, there's a pretty good scene with Patrick and Sandy eating doing the fake picnic, where Patrick's just crying the entire time and like blubbering everything he's trying to say. Um, I like that. Like, but all in all, in terms of like where that puts it in comparison with the other episodes in the season, like, eh, it might be. I think it's good. I think it's above okay because there are, I think, better gags in this one than in Mermaid Man and Barnacle 2. And again, I just don't really care for the boating school episodes, but it's not anything like super special. Neptune's spatula. This one is really weird. I feel like a lot of people forget this episode existed. Um, when I've watched it again, it doesn't even feel like a SpongeBob episode to me. There are some really good gags. and it's a very different plot than a lot of other SpongeBob episodes. Even though it's like
What the dog doing?
in the end it's about fry cooking, but for the most part it it's not. It's about like he's interacting with like Neptune and stuff, and it's kind of weird. You do get to see Tom Kenny taking a shower in that episode. That's interesting. Um, it's okay. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's like amazing. Opposite day. I think this episode is very famous. I feel like you hear people talking about like, like kids talking about opposite day all the time, like, hi, it's opposite day, so I said this, but it means that. And like, as far as I know, that was mostly SpongeBob that like pushed that. That was mostly SpongeBob that made that like a thing that people do. Um, because this episode is really famous for that reason. It's got, the really funny moment. Like I'll admit, SpongeBob kind of annoys me in this episode, like a good amount. But it's still really funny the way that they all pretend to be Squidward and Patrick, like I'm Squidward, I'm Squidward, I'm Squidward, Squidward, Squidward. Um, and Squidward is just off like trying to like keep SpongeBob and Patrick out of the way to sell his house, but how bad his plans backfire. Who's surprised, really? Um, I think it's a great episode. I think it is. I think I like Musclebob Buff Pants more, but I think it's a very good episode. Hmm. Um, Pickles. Uh, eh. This one's like famous, I think, you've
What the
got
dog doing?
you've got Bubble Bass. Um, I think this episode made made Bubble Bass like one of the most famous like one-time villains, antagonists. Like before I think he showed up in a couple other episodes, but this is the one where he really gets, properly introduced as like an antagonist, even if it's just like not a common antagonist of the show. He definitely was the villain here. Um, like SpongeBob's rival, which is something you don't usually see. I think I think it's like the part where like Mr. Krabs comes over and he's trying to like help SpongeBob figure out how to like build a Krabby Patty again. I think that's really funny. Um, I really like when at the very end when they pull up his tongue and like the lady's like, and there's my car keys. um, but other than that, I wouldn't say it's my favorite episode. Um, I'll have it in good. I think it's a good episode. Maybe like maybe like here. Maybe like here. Maybe like here. Ish. Yeah. Something like that. Pizza delivery. I don't even think that this really needs to be explained very much. I think for a lot of people, this might be the first episode a lot of people think when they think of SpongeBob. This is definitely the most famous episode of this season. Not of the show. We'll get to that in a future tier list, but of this season, this is the most famous episode. It like a lot of people will even say like, oh, nice. A lot of people will even say like when talking about like their favorite SpongeBob songs, they'll say the pizza delivery song, and it's like that's not even a song. That's how impactful this episode was to a lot of people. Is that like they 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 classify one of their favorite songs in all of SpongeBob as just like a little tune SpongeBob like sings to himself to keep himself occupied. To keep like that's literally all it is. Like it's not a song. And like but there's so much to this episode. Like you got
What
just
the dog doing?
it's funny the entire way through. Like it starts with a few great gags. Like when Squidward's like, "We don't sell pizzas," and then Mr. Krabs makes one. It's like, "We don't deliver." It's like, "We don't, but you do." And then like obviously you got the pioneers. Like those moments are legendary. Everyone knows about like the pioneers, like the pioneer hitchhiking when he's like waving back and forth. Like there's so many legendary moments in this episode that are just iconic. And that's like honestly I think what makes SpongeBob very different from a lot of other shows, a lot of other even like really, really highly applauded cartoons like from the same era is that I think SpongeBob made the most iconic and generation like defining moments of any other show. There's a reason why every like literally like every month there's a new meme with SpongeBob characters, even if it's like from old episodes. Like the even though it's been like 3 years ago or whatever that it was like a popular meme, like the angry Patrick, that was from Nature Pants. That was from a 1999 episode. Um and it was a popular meme like literally just a few years ago because it's just there's so much things you go back to and you see and you're like that's hilarious like it SpongeBob's just great like that and I think Pizza Delivery encapsulates that perfectly and even other than that like the entire thing is well connected, the entire thing is funny, and then the very end is one of like one of the most like just a good moment of SpongeBob. Like not like for how funny it is, but like it's actually sweet. It's actually touching. How like shows that Squid we see a side of Squidward that we don't get to see very often, and when we do, it always feels good because we see that even though he's annoyed by SpongeBob, that he still cares for him. And like he wants justice, like he kind of like just throws it in the guy's. He literally throws the pizza in the guy's face, and like that's a good moment. I think everyone likes that moment. It feels good. It's a great way to end the episode. Um, it's definitely one of the best in the season and one of the best in the show. Rock Bottom is next. Rock Bottom. I did not like this episode as a kid for the same reason I mentioned earlier, but I think it's pretty funny. It is pretty funny. It's a little annoying even still, but it's pretty funny. Um, a lot of funny stuff goes on. I don't know. I don't really got much to say on Rock Bottom. It's never been one of my favorites, but I think it's good. I think it's like I think it's like better than these.
What the dog doing?
Um, I might lower Pickles a little bit. I think Rock Bottom's better than Pickles. Yeah, I think this is probably decent right here. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say on that one. And this, so I'm gonna keep going. SB129, one of my favorite episodes of the season, right here. It's the origin of the caveman SpongeBob meme, which a lot of people can think that's from the SpongeBob BC episode from season 3. It isn't. It's from this one when Squidward goes back in time to the prehistoric era, and that's what that SpongeBob is. Different art style. Um, Obviously it starts with like before that he goes to the future, and you also have a great moment with like Squidward doing the sit-ups, future, and like the also the everything is chrome in the future. And it's just I don't know, it's just good. I always like watching SB129. I've always considered it one of my favorite in this season. It's one I like to go back to pretty often. um it ends nice too, like it's kind of similar to Pizza Delivery. Yeah, yeah. SpongeGar and Caveman SpongeBob are separate. Um, they're not necessarily, they never made the connection that they're the same person. Um, like SpongeGar is just from the episode that's literally just SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward, but like aged way back in like BC times. While like the Caveman SpongeBob It's just like it's just when Squidward went back in time and saw a couple of stupid like practically monkey-like dudes. And also their like models are completely different too. Like the caveman SpongeBob looks much more like a Neanderthal. Um while the SpongeGar looks more like just like old like styled SpongeBob. Um oh yeah, also though like with SB129, the end of the episode also is pretty it's kind of good in the
What the
same way
dog
people
doing?
kind of good in the same way pizza deliveries as well. Not to the extent of pizza delivery, but like Squidward kind of realizes that he actually does miss like SpongeBob and Patrick, even if that's short lived because he gets annoyed that they're asking him who invented like asking to go jellyfishing. He's like, who invented jellyfishing? And SpongeBob and Patrick point at him and they're like, you did. And I'm like, that's funny. That's a great way to end an episode. I think it's fantastic. In fact, I might have it at the top of fantastic. I really like SB129. I don't know how much of a hot take that is. Fun. Like everyone thinks the exact same thing when they think of fun. I don't think I need to spend too much time with this one. It's fantastic. It's got one of the most famous songs in all of SpongeBob, period. Um, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's really good. I think it's the bottom of fantastic. I think it even could be in like the top of great category, but it's really good. It's really like the song I think elevates it. Like it's just iconic. Crap. All right. Bubble Stand. This is one of the best episodes in the season. This is by far one of the best episodes in the season. Like I'm gonna say this word a lot because it defines what this era of SpongeBob was, but it is iconic. Like you see Bubble Stand and you think of him doing the the bubble technique. I know a lot of people who memorized the bubble technique like because of how much they've seen it. You think of SpongeBob blowing an elephant and it goes into Squidward's house and you think of Patrick saying, haha, it's a giraffe. Like you think of stuff like that. You think like these are the kind of episodes that cemented like immediately made SpongeBob like one of the most well-loved cartoons of all time. And this was like I think it's like the fourth episode of the season, like other than Help Wanted. It just it was so quick to be like so on point. It's a great episode. It's fantastic. Um, Ripped Pants. This is a fantastic episode. I don't think it's the very best in the season, but this is a great episode and similar to Fun, it is elevated to that top fantastic position because of the song at the end. The song at the end, Ripped Pants, is better than the Fun song by far, honestly. But the Ripped Pants song, it's a banger. It's a freaking banger, dude. It's so good. Like I need to don't need to tell you guys that it's so good. And other than that, like there's some good jokes. I think some of the jokes maybe fall a little bit in this episode, but the ones that hit, they're good. Like they're not the best SpongeBob jokes ever, but they're really good. Oh look at that, a cereal box washed up on shore. Like that's not a cereal box. That's a guy. And the lifeguard, everything with the lifeguard, honestly, that's probably my favorite gag in the episode that I can think of. Like the stuff before that, it's like okay, but like that and the end of the episode with the song makes it fantastic, I think. Yeah. All right. Hall monitor is next. I don't like hall monitor. I never have. It's annoying to me. The first half especially is annoying to me. The second half is awesome.
What the dog doing?
Well, the second half minus the end is awesome. The first half's annoying because SpongeBob's being a control freak. The second half is hilarious because it's SpongeBob trying to catch himself and Patrick being stupid. It's just Patrick being like saying to calling SpongeBob, telling him where the hallmark like the maniac is, and it's just he's just telling SpongeBob wherever he's going because SpongeBob is the maniac, but he can't make that. And it's like also like the cops showing Patrick the picture and like being like oh. It's like calm down, son. It's just a painting. Like I think that's really funny. And then the very end I also don't like because like SpongeBob, as I said in the first half of the episode, was really annoying. And I kind of want to see SpongeBob get what he deserves from it, but he doesn't because Mrs. Puff's like, "Oh yeah, I it's a oh yeah, I guess it is just a drawing." Yeah, I'm just rolling with it, dude. All right. But uh but yeah, Mrs. Puff gets arrested and it's just like why? I don't know. To me, Hall Monitor, it falls into the trap. Like, it's not her herself. It's not Mrs. Puff herself, but every episode with Mrs. Puff in it gets taken down at least a peg. Every episode with the boating school is worse than like it's my least favorite like setting for any episode. I don't know why they're all like that to me. They just seem to be worse. But I still think it's good. I think this is definitely better than boating school. Because the good parts of it, like boating school's just hmm, I have to put it in good, right? I have to. Yeah, because just that second half alone is super iconic, and I can't put that in okay. Like boating school has some really good. I might put boating school above. I might put boating school here. I don't think Mermaid Man and Barnacle 2 is very good. Boating school, I don't like the boating school episodes, but it has some really funny moments. It's got like again like SpongeBob going on all fours eating grass to act natural. It's got like the hey, I'm getting mine next, and then hey,
What
I
the
doubt
dog
it.
doing?
It's got Patrick in SpongeBob's pants looking through the telescopes, got the antenna sticking out. I'm talking myself into putting it at the top of okay. It's still okay though. Um, yeah, Sandy's rocket. I loved this episode as a kid. Going back to it, I still like it. I don't love it. I think it is great. This episode, it starts with I don't even remember the introduction. Apparently, Sandy just shows SpongeBob this stuff. I don't remember. Who cares? The part that matters for this episode is when they go in the rocket, go around the moon, over the moon, back to Earth, and then they start hunting aliens. And then SpongeBob goes. They go into Squidward's house and get his like whatever that was. And they flash a light on it and they're like twins because they think it's an egg sack. I think of that way too much. I think of SpongeBob. I think of them saying twins like more than I probably should because I don't know. I think it's funny. Um, other than that, I think maybe it's better than Opposite Day, worse than Musclebob Buff Pants. It's
What the
funny.
dog doing?
What is the dog doing? Um, I don't know what else to say on Sandy Rocket. I don't think I got anything. It's just a good episode. Plankton. This is the first episode to have the main antagonist of the show. Um, I like it. I like it a lot. I think Plankton. I have not made like really talked about a lot of people who my favorite SpongeBob characters are. 'Cause for the most part, like I'll just say like I like SpongeBob, I like Squidward, I like Patrick before he became the worst character in the show. But that's after the show didn't even really matter anyway. So I like him. I like Mr. I honestly like Mr. Krabs. I think a lot of people hate him, but I think he's hilarious. But I don't usually talk about Plankton. High key, Plankton might be like is like a top three character in the show for me. I think Plankton is a hilarious antagonist. I think he's funny. I think the episodes he's in are very good, for the most part. Um, at least when the show mattered. It became a lot more like run of the mill, like less original, like when you got to like the later seasons. But like for all intents and purposes, right now we're looking at season one. I think this is a great introduction to Plankton. You get to see his lab for the first time and his laboratory. See what I did there? I took the joke from the episode and I made it again. Yeah. Um. So you get to see that. You see Plank. You find out that he's 1% evil and 99% hot gas. Uh, yeah, I think Plankton's funny. I think it's a good episode. I think it's a great way to start to introduce the character. And then like I said, a lot of episodes with Plankton are consistently very good. That's why also like fun is up there, and fun is just it's very good. Like Plankton, it honestly shows like a side of Plankton we don't really see before too. Next, naughty nautical neighbors. This episode is the one where like Squidward, Squidward for no reason gets like super petty towards SpongeBob and Patrick because they're just in their backyards having fun. They're not bothering him. They're sending bubble messages to each other, literally not affecting him at all. And Squidward just decides to ruin their friendship just out of the spur of the moment. Like, why? Why did he do it? What did they do to deserve it? Who knows? But he did, and they were funny. They were
What the
funny
dog
comments.
doing?
They were funny insults. They were funny comments. Like, if I had $1 for every brain you don't have, I'd have $1. I use that. I use that not infrequently. Um, but like, why did he do it? I don't know. So then they hate each other, and then they try to become best friends with Squidward, both of them. And this is when you first get Patrick. He's like, "Oh, I love music. Play me a song." After Patrick, saves Squidward from choking on a fork. And it's the classic, the legendary Solitude in E minor. And then he falls asleep immediately. Then SpongeBob fixes Squidward's back after he like threw it out. And then SpongeBob's like, "Yeah, I play the cello or whatever it was," and they just terrible like Squidward is the best friend in the world, and it's just terrible. Then he breaks like the the cello in half. And then Squidward gets a plan to bring them back together, by just having a soda party or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, I'm all out of soda. I guess I gotta grab more." And then and they make up or whatever. Like SpongeBob and Patrick make up because they're big and fat and full of soda and whatever. I don't know. Like actually, I do know. I'm just saying the reason why I gave like a full like a whole on like synopsis of this episode compared to the other ones that I've done is because I feel like a lot of people forget about this episode. I feel like a lot of people like know parts of it. Like obviously they know like the part where there's sending the bubble messages. They know Solitude in E minor. They know Squidward choking. But I feel like a lot of people forget what the actual episode was about. um, because it's a little bit forgettable. There's just some. It's a forgettable plot, but with really good moments. And for that reason, I will put it at the top of good because the good moments are freaking hilarious. But all in all, it's like kind of just an episode. All right, Jellyfish Jam. I'll tell you what I like and don't like about Jellyfish Jam. I like
What the
the
dog
songs.
doing?
Oh my gosh, but what the dog doing? But I like the songs, both of them. Both like the party like what's that one called? I don't remember. I like the part. I like the song where it's like where the jellyfish are, they're partying and stuff. I like the end of the episode where Gary starts beating his eyes together and then like get the all the things doing like da 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 kind of goes honestly. In fact, on Nickelodeon All Star Brawl, when you go into Jellyfish Fields and you see Gary, like when you load in before the song really goes, you hear the dink 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 of like the same sound that Gary's eyes made. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But I at least appreciate it as a fan. And those are the parts I really like about it. What I don't like about it, the plot is annoying. Um, I think SpongeBob's really stupid in this episode. I think there's still obviously I don't I feel like for a lot of times I'll defend episodes that I don't like as much and I'll say, oh, they're really like there's some really funny moments. Like I think you can make the assumption that in literally every episode in this season there are funny moments. In every episode of like pretty much all three of the first three seasons there are funny moments. Um, like obviously Squidward starting to play the clarinet really loudly and then the jellyfish just swarming in and attacking him. Like it's hilarious. But I just don't really like I think SpongeBob's really stupid. But again, it does have two bangers. So I think the things similar to Naughty Nautical Neighbors, they cancel out. And I think it's a good episode. Um, Culture Shock. Go up there, buddy. Culture Shock is one of my favorite episodes, not only in the season, but in the show. Um, I think this episode is just hilarious from beginning to end. I think it's just fun to watch. It's probably like the variety show of SpongeBob with like a little bit of plot thrown in and tons of gags, like just like both visual and oh yeah, that's a good idea. Add a tier below bad. I'll have it here. I'm not gonna use it right now. I'm just gonna be like bad,
What the dog doing?
horrendous. There's not gonna be anything in that tier in in this one, but yeah, it definitely will be, and I do plan on doing future seasons as well. So yeah, it's a good idea. Which one was it? I was talking about Culture Shock. That's right. Yeah, Culture Shock. Um, it's hilarious. I had for the longest time until recently, until I got my new phone over summer. For like, so that means from like since I was like 14 years old until I was 20, I had Squidward doing the interpretive dance as my phone lock screen. Uh, and I have that picture on my laptop. I have that sticker. I have a sticker of Squidward doing his interpretive dance on the back of my laptop. I think it is so funny. And I think SpongeBob doing his routine is so funny. And I think it's exactly what Squidward deserved. I think it was like I think like Gary's like poetry and Sandy's like he's got such a way with words. I think it's so funny. I don't know, like there's not much to say about this episode. This episode just like it feels different from a lot of other episodes because it's not as plot centric, you know. It's much more. It's like I said, it's practically like a variety show episode. It it's just about you see a bunch of different things. It makes you feel good as things are going on. A lot of different things are happening. It keeps you on your toes at all times. Like you're not really following a story. You're just in it for the entertainment. Like honestly, the episode kind of feels like a talent show and I like that. I think it's a very good episode. I like to revisit very often. It makes me laugh a lot. Um, Home Sweet Pineapple. Eh. Um, I'll say the funniest thing about this episode isn't any singular joke. It is how Squidward looks. Holy smokes! I don't know what the artists were doing. Look at this. Like, why is he so different? Look look at this. Look at that. Look how so weird. Check cool birds. Yo, I'm in the northeastern venue. That's fine. But yeah, look at this guy though. I'm serious. Look at him. What did they do? And look at that one too.
What the
Like,
dog doing?
yeah, what is the dog doing? Why does he look like that? You got to admit, like, this is not how Squidward normally looks, right? It's not just me. I'm not the only one who notices that. I can't be. I think they did something really weird with like the they didn't have like the right proportions in that episode for Squidward. Other than that, I think it's a very standard episode. I think it's okay. I think I think there's some funny moments of SpongeBob and Patrick trying to rebuild their house. Uh, we get to see SpongeBob's parents. I don't know if we had seen them before this. Um, it's funny seeing Squidward dancing and then like the pineapple landing on him and crushing him, and they all run back in. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say on this episode. I don't think it's very good. I think it's okay. Employee of the month. I think this episode is also like it's okay. I think it's better. I'll probably put it in good, but let me explain why I think what I think before I put it up there though. Um, Employee of the month. Did what the dog do and end? It might have ended. No, it's got 7 minutes left. The reason why I think employee of the month is like okay is that I don't know. It's just it's pretty easy to just look over. I don't think really too much happens in that episode that is worth revisiting that much. Like I remember when I was like rewatching it, I just watched it and I was like, that was an episode. Like it's super standard. It's there's a lot of funny moments, which is why I think it's better than the okay episodes. Like it's just all gags beginning to end. But other than that, it's all it's and I think the reason why I don't like it as much is that it's almost all slapstick too, which SpongeBob like in the prime seasons was known for both having good like slapstick like animation humor kind of stuff as well as a lot of like great writing like hilarious to listen to and I'm trying to think of any like jokes in employee of the month and I can't when I think of like funny
What
moments
the dog doing?
I think of them like attacking each other like to stop themselves from going to the Krusty Krab to be there first. um So I will put it at the bottom, the very bottom of good, because it's just I don't know, not much happens. Reef Blower. This is the first episode of season one, not including Help Wanted, because Help Wanted is the pilot. And one thing that's interesting to note about this episode is that there is no dialogue. The reason for that is because apparently they had a problem with the equipment, from what I know. They had a problem with the equipment when they were recording, and they didn't have time to like add it. They were like, yeah, let's just make a silent episode of SpongeBob to start the entire show, which I think is a really weird choice. But I mean, it's good. It like it actually is all slapstick because there is no writing and it's a short. It's shorter than the average episode, which I think also helps it a little bit because it would drag on. I think it would be more like how I see Employee of the Month if it was longer. Um, but I think it's a little better than that because how short it is, it doesn't feel old. It's just something that like you watch a couple times and you're like, I've now seen enough of it. I don't really need to see it again. Like, because you're not gonna like laugh at the same slapstick jokes over and over and over again. For the most, at least I wouldn't think so. Um, I'll put it like right behind Hooky, maybe. I think that's probably fair. So next we have jellyfishing. We're back to the iconic episodes. We're back to the episodes that people think of when they think of some of the best moments in SpongeBob. I don't think jellyfishing is one of the best episodes in the show, but I think it is undeniably a great episode because there are some funny things that happen. Most namely, Patrick yelling at Squidward to firmly get grasp the jellyfish net in his hand and then stabbing through him completely. And that's just one of Patrick's best moments, period. And and honestly, it kind of just makes the episode to me. I don't even feel like I really want to
What the
explain
dog doing?
yeah, I don't even feel like I really want to explain like the rest of the episode. Like, I'm content just kind of leaving it there. I'm content just being like, jellyfishing is about Patrick stabbing Squidward's hand with the jellyfish net. And that's all I've got to say. Karate choppers. This one's fun. This one's a lot of fun. We get to see a few aspects of both SpongeBob and Sandy. I think it's a good Sandy episode. I'm not a huge fan of Sandy as a character for the most part. I think she's kind of boring. But I think this episode is really good. You get to see it starts with a lot of funny slapstick and quips when you're just seeing them do karate. You get Mr. Krabs, who's being Mr. Krabs about it. Well, you'll fire SpongeBob if he does more karate, and then Sandy like attacks him for karate, and Mr. Krabs thinks it's SpongeBob, so he fires him, and then SpongeBob does the famous like he runs off crying. It's pretty funny. Uh, but then like Mr. Krabs like one more chance, but then they go Sandy and Pat. Dang it, Eric! I was gonna get there. I was gonna get there. So yeah, they do that. Blah blah blah. They go on a picnic, but they can't help themselves, and they make like sandwiches and stuff using karate. But then SpongeBob thinks when he gets caught by Mr. Krabs he can get fired, but actually Mr. Krabs has an idea, and now they open up the Krusty Krab using karate to make the sandwiches, and it has the thing like it's already a good episode, but the thing that honestly elevates it to me to fantastic episode quality is
What
the
the
end.
dog doing?
And the end is so funny. It is one of the best endings of any SpongeBob episode, where it's like, where Sandy's like, I love karate, and SpongeBob's like, I love karate, and Mr. Krabs says, and I love money, and Squidward says, I hate all of you. Fantastic. The best thing I've ever seen. And I think that alone puts it here. Ah, I don't want to listen to that. It's such a good ending, though. I'll even put it above fun. Not above help wanted though. It's a great episode. I think it's, I think it's fantastic. Like the ending honestly makes it. It is one of the like I think of a few episodes when I like episodes when I think of like the best SpongeBob endings. Like in terms of like gags, okay? Like obviously when you talk about best SpongeBob episode endings, period, you think of Pizza Delivery as well. You think of Band Geeks because they feel good. But in terms of like the best gags to end an episode, Karate Choppers is up there. Another one that is one of my personal favorites. We'll get to that in a different tier list of season 3. Is I had an accident. That episode ending is the funniest thing ever. But for right now, let's focus on season 1. Karate Choppers is fantastic. Let's move on to Scaredy Pants. Unlike April Fools in April, I don't think Scaredy Pants is very good. I forgot that there was a Halloween special in the first season for SpongeBob. A special again, quote unquote. It's not like double length or anything, but it's a Halloween themed episode. I completely forgot it existed because I remember when in season 10 or 11, I think 11 is when they did the different animation style Halloween special that apparently is really good. And I don't remember if I've watched it or not yet, but they did the different anime. I was like, is this the first like Halloween episode like special that SpongeBob's done? And then like I looked back through stuff and I'm like, in the first season there's one, and I rewatched it. I'm like, no wonder I forgot. It's forgettable. Like I don't think there's very good moments in it. I eh. The best moment's like probably the end when everyone gets scared because SpongeBob's like entire brain is exposed and everything. Um, Other than that, it's very easy to skip and not miss out on too much. Might be one of the worst episodes in the season. I'm not gonna put it in bad though. That's only I was a teenager. Sleepy time. I think this is probably a pretty forgettable episode for a lot of people. There are some very good gags though. Patrick on the machine, and he's like he lost his last quarter in his dream and then just didn't do anything about it. It's pretty funny. When he knows it's a lucid dream and everything, and he just was like, "I'm happy right here." Gary's funny, you know. There once was a man from Peru who dreamed he was eating his shoe. He woke with a fright in the middle of the night and learned that his dream had come true. Like, that's pretty good. Like, Gary's pretty funny there. What else? What are the other dreams? Got Pearl's dream he goes into on accident. He's like, want to go to my tea party. He's like, nah, I'm actually looking for Mr. Krabs. And Mr. Krabs is fishing, and SpongeBob like fishing for money, and SpongeBob lets the money go. Oops. Did he visit Sandy? I don't remember Sandy's dream. I literally don't remember it. Plankton's dream is probably that's a pretty funny one because like Plankton's just like crushing people. Squidward's dream? I don't even remember I don't even remember. Was it Squidward was probably one of them, right? Like I don't. Oh, wait, yeah. Squidward's dream was he was performing for clarinet, and SpongeBob turned himself into a clarinet and started going like la 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 to make the noise, and then like the guy was like the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Yeah, like I feel like I'm giving a pretty good idea of why it's forgettable. Like there's just nothing's connected. It's kind of like just stuff happening, and so it's really easy to forget. Um, I don't think it's a bad episode. I just think it's an okay episode. Um, yeah. Squeaky boots. I I always liked Squeaky boots, and my appreciation for the episode has only gone up over time. It's only gone up over time because I learned as an adult that the entire ending is a reference to Edgar Allan Poe, The Telltale Heart. And I think that's hilarious. I think that's so funny that he's just like, it's there here under the floorboards. And it's like after he's just going insane, just hearing the squeaky boots from everyone. There's tons of meme formats of like things like over the guy talking, and it sounds like the squeaky boots, you know. And then he fries the boots and eats them. Like, that's a great ending. It's a great ending to an episode. And then like a lot of the episode, it's funny. It's like I'll admit the noise is annoying, but that's like the point, you know. It's supposed to be annoying. I think it's a really good episode. I enjoy it. I don't know. I feel like that might be a hot take, but I'm like tempted to put it down at like the top of good, but I've already got so much in good, you know. So like I think I prefer it over the ones I have in good. So yeah. All right, Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost. This episode has, when I think of the first thing I think of this episode, I think of a few things. I like this episode. Spoiler. Um, the thing I think of first at the very beginning is that one joke that I still don't get, which is like when he's having them carry him around to like different places. You know what I'm talking about? You know which one? They're carrying him around. He's trying to find like a perfect place to sit outside. And then there's like a background of something. And he's like two whatever. I don't remember what he said. And there's like a literally just a brum, you know. And I'm like, I don't get it. What does that mean? Like that one, I never got it. But other than that, I think it's a good episode. I think it's funny. I think the beginning is funny when they're like, "We like, what are you guys doing? We don't know." I think I like them literally like killing Squidward's wax figurine, and uh, and then he pretends to be a ghost. You know, you got the watermelons fresh from the manure field. I think that's like there's a lot of good stuff in it. Um, and then they end by taking Squidward to the great beyond. I think it's a good episode. I don't think it's a fantastic episode, but I think it's good. And I will put it, maybe like right around here. The Suds. This is an episode that I did not like as a kid, and I think is really funny now. Like as if I was a kid making this tier list, I probably would have put it either in okay or bad. I'm gonna put it in good. Spoiler. Um, because I think I still think like the plot is kind of simple and stuff, but there are some really funny moments. Like there's a lot of just really good stuff going on. Got Patrick being like, "Don't touch me, I'm sterile." And then obviously this is another one with a very, very iconic ending, which is SpongeBob being taken by Hans in the hand, being made to like just rinse stuff, and it's just live action, like a sponge being used to like clean things. And then Patrick does too, and he gets clean. He has to clean a toilet and like a cactus and stuff. Like who use who cleans a cactus? Like who even does that? Um, it's really weird. Like what? But yeah, I think it's a good episode. This is getting a lot harder now because there's so much in good, and I'm like having a hard time. I'm just kind of like trying to differentiate things, and I think Suds is really good. I think I might move Naughty Nautical Neighbors down a little bit. I might move it down like here. Jellyfish Jam, Suds, Rock Bottom. I like half of me wants to move Jellyfish Jam down too, but like the two like stupid good songs in it keep it. I think I keep it there, even if I like the other episodes more. I'll put it there. Yeah, this will do. Yeah, it's getting harder because there's just so much in good. I think Suds is a very good episode though. Um, Tea at the Tree Dome. I love Tea at the Tree Dome. I think Tea at the Tree Dome is one of the best episodes in the season. Maybe even better than Argh. It's about as good as Argh. Let's say that. Like I think SB 129. I think most of the ones in Fantastic are very close. I think like Rift Pants, SB 129, Tea at the Tree Dome, and Argh are all like about as good, and Help Wanted. And then Karate Chop and Fun are like a little worse, but they're still really good. Um, but yeah, Tea at the Tree Dome. This is the second episode in the show, other than the pilot. Um, it introduces Sandy, and honestly, like this is kind of the episode like Sandy had a lot more potential, I think. I think they very quickly made her a lot more like one-dimensional. Um, like she even became more one-dimensional in like the good seasons than she was here. Um, but she's really good in this episode. SpongeBob's hilarious. He's trying to like be just impress her, like putting on airs. Patrick's top form here, like Pinky, Pinky. And then you got the most famous scene of the episode is him looking at the water glass and being like, I don't need it. I don't need it. Like you guys all know what that is. It's a good episode. It's a very good episode. I don't think it needs that much explanation. Uh, the next one is another very good Sandy episode. In fact, I'd even say it's better than that last Sandy episode. I'm going to have it at the top of my Fantastics here because I think Texas is a hilarious episode. Like, I, when I was a kid, there would be like moments in episodes that I'd like so much that and since like kids have like an attention span of about like a couple milliseconds, I would just like it didn't bother me to just see Patrick explode after getting lassoed, rewind, watch it again, rewind, watch it again, rewind, watch it again, over and over and over again, because that is one of the funniest gags in any SpongeBob episode ever. Seeing like Patrick get lassoed, get pulled back, and just like nuclear explosion, and SpongeBob just screams ah! and keeps running. Like that is so funny to me. Like that episode has so much good with it. It pokes fun at Texas. It's hilarious. Like who needs dumb old Texas? Like I love it. I think it's good. It's got a good song. It's got a good song. Which by the way, Sandy's losing anime, like her losing pose, whatever, in Nick All Stars Brawl is her doing the guitar. Like wish I was back in Texas. Pretty. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, like there's a lot to like about this song. Okay, Eric, I was actually thinking of that. Like, I don't. Did I ever end up sending that like I sent I felt I was going to send like that be like I think this is an underrated joke. I don't remember if I ended up doing it or not though. Like a month ago or like probably a couple months ago now actually. I was because a couple months ago I was thinking about that like thinking of her doing the song and then Patrick thinks, do you think she knows the Muffin Man song? And I was thinking like I never hear anyone talk about that, but I think it's such an underrated joke. I literally just was working on homework and I just thought of it like like a couple months ago, like and I'm just like, why does no one talk about this joke? I just started laughing. I think it's hilarious. It's such a good joke. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Oh yeah. The chaperone. This is the second worst episode in the season. I'll make it third worst because I think Scaredy Pants isn't good. Yeah, it's not very good. The chaperone is this is the one where SpongeBob takes Pearl to the prom. This is a weird episode. I'll put it's maybe it's not the third. It could be better than Mermaid and Barnacle too, honestly. Could be better than some of these, but these are all pretty about the same. Like these ones right here, like Sleepy Time through the Chaperone are about equivalent. Then I think Home Sweet Pineapple and Boney School are a little better. Um, like you got the Sponge song at the end of the episode, and it's like it's a decent song. It's not amazing. Uh, I don't really know. There's not much to talk about with this episode. Like SpongeBob takes Pearl to the prom. They do some stuff. There's Long Tan and Handsome, and it's just like some nerd. I think that's pretty funny. Um, I like SpongeBob when he was like I like the joke doesn't make much sense, but I like when like both at the beginning and the end. SpongeBob was like, it turns out there were just these life-size dummies of SpongeBob that he has around, and he's just like, ah, you're talking to my the dummy, like, like why did they make? Why was that joke a thing? But it it's pretty, it was a joke they had. I laugh at it, but I'm like confused, like who wrote that? Um, yeah, I'm gonna talk about the next episode now, which is the paper. And by the way, in my opinion, this is the most forgettable episode ever made for SpongeBob. I know some people really like it, um, but I think it's really forgettable, and I'll give you two reasons for that. One, every SpongeBob episode is paired with another. I think the reason why a lot of people forget about this episode is because every SpongeBob episode is paired with another episode. So like when it would air on TV, you would like every episode would be paired with another. So like to make a 1 30-minute block, like they would never be played with like if you watched one episode, there was always another episode that would follow it that would be the same episode every time. So you would never like watch Suds and then like Rock Bottom kind of thing if Suds is paired with a different episode. Like they would always be put together. Where I'm going with this is that the paper is paired with the Valentine's Day episode. It's paired with the Valentine's Day special, and they only played the Valentine's Day episode on Valentine's Day or near Valentine's Day. Like not on it, but like in that month kind of thing. They wouldn't play it very often because you don't want to. Who cares to watch a Valentine's Day episode like in October? And so it didn't get much airing time. The other reason why I think it's very forgettable is because it doesn't feel like a SpongeBob episode to me. I'm not joking when I say like it feels like a Looney Tunes episode, which I love Looney Tunes, but it's weird from SpongeBob's perspective to me. Like this episode, it has a lot of gags about like it's just like a lot of slapstick. It's like really weird how the characters act. I understand it from SpongeBob having like he's having fun with a piece of paper. Like he does that. That's something SpongeBob would do. But then like it's really weird for Squidward to get jealous over that and then like literally buy everything off of like sell everything he owns to SpongeBob for the piece of paper. And then like Squidward realizes like it's just a piece of paper again. Like I don't know. It's just such a there- there's some good jokes, but like again, there always are good jokes. It's such a forgettable episode to me. That being said, I still think it's the top of okay. Only two more. We're almost done. Um, Valentine's Day. Um, it's a Valentine's Day episode. The funniest part of it is when SpongeBob gives Patrick the friendly handshake, and then like Patrick just like has that expression for like for a montage around like the theme like this the theme park where he's just like not happy, not like he's super static, like just like unhappy about it. I think that's the funniest thing they have going for it. It's sweet. Um, yeah, I don't know, not much to say on that. I think it's a good episode. And Walking Small. If I remember correctly, I can't remember for sure. I think most people, like a good amount of people, don't like this episode. I think it's great. I really like this episode. Like as much as I like Plankton. Like I'd say Plankton and Walking Small are on the same tier for me. I think Walking Small has I think that's just because again like I really like Plankton as a character, and I think this episode has a lot of great Plankton moments. In fact, it has a lot of great moments in general. I don't know why. I think I remember hearing people say they don't like this episode, which like why? What's wrong with it? Heck, I'd put it over. I'd put it over Plankton because to me it's got better jokes. Like the best joke in Plankton, I think, is like, "This is my lab, and this is my laboratory." Walking Small has iconic moments, better jokes. It's got like You got to be assertive. Beep, beep. No, not insertive. Like that's hilarious. You got obviously SpongeBob goes stepping on the beach, do 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 do, stepping on the beach, do do do. Iconic. Again, like every episode where I've mentioned like something iconic, usually they're good. Like they're really good episodes. Now let them have it. You can have it. See, great moments like that, and it's like, and I'm sure there's more. I haven't watched this episode in a while, but there's like a lot of moments like that. I love seeing like how SpongeBob and Plankton are like go have their back and forth in this episode because I think it's like a different environment that they do than in like a lot of other like Plankton episodes, which are usually, strictly about the Krusty Krab. I think that's one thing I really like about this episode is that it's different. It's not about him trying to steal the formula, so there's a lot more cooperation from SpongeBob. There's a lot more things SpongeBob is doing and interacting with Plankton, which we don't get to see as much because usually what they're doing when they interact is SpongeBob is trying to stop Plankton from getting the formula. This time, Plankton is not going for the formula. He has a plan to make like a big chum bucket on the like location on the beach, which this is the kind of plots that I wish that later seasons would do because to me that's like the kind of difference that like can keep things fresh because you just combine now like two of the major locations of like major like one major location versus in one major plot of SpongeBob. They combine the Goo Lagoon area and the Goo Lagoon themes with with Plankton and Plankton schemes. You use me for land development. Like these are the jokes that like just get funnier the older you get. Like a lot of them. And see, like the fact of the matter is, you've been able to list just already a few of the super iconic moments, like the lines in that episode. And I think like the best part about that episode is the verbal humor. Like there's some slapstick stuff, but like I think it's mostly like just the interactions, like the between SpongeBob and Plankton, how they what they say to each other and stuff like that. That really makes this episode what I consider great. Um, I definitely think it is that quality. And yeah, that is the last episode of season one. And so this is it. The best three I have are Pizza Delivery, Culture Shock, and Bubble Stand. And I don't think many people can kind of argue with any of those three. I think they're pretty universally loved. Fantastic. I got Texas, Ripped Pants, SB129, Argh, Tea at the Tree Dome, Help Wanted, Karate Choppers, and Fun. These are all amazing episodes that, like, I highly recommend to everyone. And great. I have Walking Small, Plankton, Musclebob, Buff Pants, Sandy's Rocket, Jellyfishing, Opposite Day, and Squeaky Boots. These are all very good episodes. Um, hmm. Or maybe I'll move Squeaky Boots to the top of good. Ah, what's going on? I think these ones are like just a bit better than Squeaky Boots. So yeah, so and great. I have Walking Small, Plankton, Musclebob, Buff Pants, Sandy's Rocket, Jellyfishing, and Opposite Day. These are all really good episodes. These a lot of iconic moments from them, a lot of great things introduced, hilarious moments. Good. I got Squeaky Boots, Jellyfish Jam, Suds, Rock Bottom, Hooky, Fools in April, Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost, Reef Blower, Naughty Nautical Neighbors, Pickles, Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy, Nature Pants, Hall Monitor, Employee of the Month, Valentine's Day. All of these episodes are very good. These episodes, like even though this is the fourth tier, these are episodes that I'd still recommend to a lot of people. I still really like these episodes because these are episodes that you'll hear people make references to all the time because that's what SpongeBob did. Even the episodes that aren't the very top are hilarious. They have great moments. Like all of these episodes, you can think of something like a funny moment that you can quote regularly in all of these episodes. Each one has at least one, and a couple have more than one. Suds has like a good amount. Uh, Hooky has a good amount. Hall Monitor has a ton, and that's near the bottom of that tier. And Hall Monitor is a ton of them. Like it's really good. And then in OK, we got the paper boating school, home sweet pineapple, sleepy time, Neptune, spatula, mermaid and barnacle way 2, the chaperone and scaredy pants. Most of these episodes I still consider good for any other show. The reason why it's in OK is because I think for SpongeBob standards, especially at this point in time, they were much more. They kind of felt like they could be the episode of any other cartoon. Um, yeah, they kind of feel like the episode of any other cartoon. Like I can see other cartoons making episodes that kind of feel like these, while the ones above, they're like those are exclusively SpongeBob things. Like these are things that like I define with SpongeBob. These are episodes that I'm like, this is an episode in SpongeBob, but it's not what I would use to define SpongeBob moments. But even then, just like above, take any of these episodes, there's at least one moment that people will reference consistently. I've already said it multiple times this stream, but I always think when I first thing I think of boating school is Patrick saying, "Act natural." SpongeBob gets out of the car on all fours and starts eating grass. I think it's hilarious, and they all have that. They all have a moment like that. And then the only one in bad is I Was a Teenage Gary. I don't even think this episode is terrible. I just think there's no, I don't, I think it's weird. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Like, I don't like either half, and both of the halves are very different. Nothing's connected. But that's the only one. That's the only one in this season that I'd say I don't like. Every other episode, I'm at least okay with. Like, like Scaredy Pants is the second lowest episode I have here, and I still like. I think it's okay. I'm not gonna rewatch. I won't rewatch it when Halloween comes around. I'm not like it's not that good to me. But I like if it comes on, I'll watch it. Heck, even for I Was a Teenage Gary, I won't turn off the TV because this one shows up. I don't. I think this is the most consistent season. Like honestly, I could even move I Was a Teenage Gary up to okay. I just wanted to have it so it didn't the that tier didn't feel so empty. And I do think I Was a Teenage Gary is significantly worse than pretty much every other, like not maybe not significantly, but like a bit worse than every other episode, even Scaredy Pants, even if it's not bad still, like in my opinion. I think season one is the most consistent season in the entire show. Um, it's just as you can see here, it's a lot of good. It's a lot in the middle, and it's why it's not my favorite season because there isn't as much of the mind-blowing SpongeBob, but even then, like there's plenty and fantastic and great and three that I consider some of the best SpongeBob episodes of all time. And the top of fantastic too, honestly, could get an argument to be put in the top next year. But for now, we'll keep it this way. Um, and yeah, so that was season one. And now that I've got started, it's gonna be a lot easier for me to keep going. And I'm gonna do season two next time. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. And let me know if there's anything you disagree with, if there's anything you would change personally. Until then, until next time.